Hello everybody, Dark Killer Diamondback here, and today we're going to be reading a Christmas horror story from my second book, More Tales to Never Sleep. With the holidays coming up, this story seems appropriate. Out here enjoying my cup of hot cocoa with the snow we have out. So, hope you're cozy next to the fireplace, drinking your cup of hot cocoa, and I hope you enjoy the story. Today's story, The Christmas Devil. Christmas time was always a special time for me growing up, with the snow, cookies, and presents. My parents weren't good at it since they usually did everything late, and they weren't good at baking cookies or anything. Though, I still found enjoyment in it. This year I was out shopping with my mom at the mall. She was always doing last-minute Christmas shopping. She was running around trying to find gifts for the family as I followed her around. I was walking around and looking at all the Christmas decorations they were having in the mall, and found them all beautiful. I looked over and saw a line of people and saw that they were waiting to get pictures with Santa. I got excited and told my mom, who told me to go wait in line as she finished her shopping. I waited in line and finally it was my turn. I walked up to him and saw how big he was. His beard hung down, his blue eyes and big smile. I sat on Santa's lap and got really excited as Santa asked me what I wanted. I told him that I wanted a football for Christmas. He laughed and our picture was taken by one of the elves, and I couldn't believe it. The whole ride home I kept staring at the picture of me and Santa. Christmas Eve came up, and we baked cookies and had hot cocoa, and then my parents tucked me in bed and told me to go to sleep, and that Santa would come and bring me all my gifts. I was too excited and couldn't sleep that night as the hours went by, and I knew that if I didn't sleep, then Santa wouldn't come, because he knows when you're sleeping and when you're awake. I got up and looked out the window, just waiting to see if maybe I could see Santa fly by in his magical sleigh. I saw nothing except the snow that was coming down. I knew I should be sleeping, but this year I was really excited to see the jolly fat man himself. I eventually grew bored of waiting and crawled back in bed. Maybe I wasn't going to see him. Maybe I would have better luck next year. Just when I was about to fall asleep, I heard something. It sounded like footsteps on the ceiling. I got excited and realized it was Santa. He finally came and now I could finally meet him in person. The real-life Santa Claus. I snuck out of my room and waited for him to come down the chimney. I finally heard him coming down and I heard a thud as some dust flew around. But when it cleared and I could see his feet, I noticed something off. They didn't seem like human feet, they were more animal-like. Almost like a goat's feet. He came out of the chimney and whatever this thing was, it wasn't Santa. It wore a red coat, but it looked a little ripped. It had goat horns, long sharp claws. It was really hairy. Its head was a goat skull. Blood dripped down its mouth as it revealed its sharp teeth. It had a sack, but it looked like it was full of gifts. In his other hand was a whip. He looked around and started sniffing things like the tree. I slowly backed away and hid under the dining room table and hoped it wouldn't find me. The thing came over and I could see its feet as it stood in front of the table. I can hear it eating something and remember the cookies that I left out for Santa. I then heard it drinking the milk as it made giant slurping sounds. It then dropped the cup as it shattered on the floor and glass went everywhere. I was surprised that my parents didn't wake up to the sound. I decided to pick up a piece of broken glass to use a weapon in case I had to defend myself from this thing. The creature turned around and walked away. I thought it was safe, until it stopped and looked through the bag and pulled something out. It was a stuffed animal, but it looked more demonic and destroyed. He put it on the ground, and then the thing came to life as it started sniffing and walking around. Then the thing looked over and saw me under the table and started to bark, which made the creature twist its head and look straight at me. I was frozen in fear as the thing started to slowly walk towards me. It reached the table and tried to grab me, but I quickly used the broken piece of glass and stabbed its hand. It just looked at it and laughed at me, proceeded to pull a glass out of its hand and then lick its own blood, then pointed at me and said, "Naughty." I tried crawling away, but it quickly grabbed my leg and pulled me out from underneath the table. It held me up to its face as I could smell its breath. It smelled like a rotting animal, and I almost threw up due to it smelling that bad. The creature then put me in its bag, and I tried fighting back, but it was to no use. It dropped me in and closed it, and inside I could see that there was nothing in the bag. Then why would it look full from the inside? I can hear the thing walking as I waited to see where he was bringing me. I peeked out and saw we were on my roof. I peeked over at his sleigh and saw his reindeer. They looked more terrifying than Santa's. They looked bony and had their organs hanging from them as they whined in pain. I felt bad for the amount of pain they looked to be in. One started coughing and blood came out, so the demon grabbed his whip and started whipping it as he yelled at it. All the other reindeer stood there as the one he whipped was crying in pain. The creature put me in a sleigh and was about to take off. That's when I decided to make a run for it and got out of its bag. I was about to hop off the sleigh. Before I could feel his cold hand grab me, I was terrified as he pulled me back into his sleigh and looked me dead in the eyes. I stared into his lifeless eyes and was worried what he'd do to me. He threw me down and I saw him grab his whip and realized he was going to do to me at that moment. Closed his eyes, ready to be whipped like his reindeer. The whip didn't come, and instead I heard a sound of bells jingling, and my eyes opened as I saw the creature standing there and putting his whip away. I looked over, and to my surprise, there was another sleigh, but this one had Santa Claus on it. He got out and walked over to us, looked at both of us, before proceeding to pull a list out. He opened it up and scrolled through it, before saying, "Wrong child, Krampus." Santa then grabbed me and pulled me out. I felt relieved and looked over at Krampus as he looked upset. Instead of saying anything, he grabbed his whip and started whipping his reindeer as they whined in pain and started to fly away with his sleigh. I looked over at Santa and realized it was the one from the mall, and was surprised that I met the real-life Santa Claus. He brought me to life and tucked me in bed, but not before apologizing and handing me a gift. He then left and I decided to open it up. To my surprise, it was the football that I wanted. I was happy and then realized there was a letter from Santa. I decided to open it and read it. "Dear Timothy, I would like to apologize for what had just happened. You see, we got you mixed up with another kid, so Krampus was sent to your house to take you away to hell and punish you for eternity, or turn you into the demonic toy. You see, Krampus is my twin brother, and where I reward kids with toys for being good, Krampus punishes the naughty kids. All that stuff about me leaving coal for the bad kids is a lie, because who'd want to tell their kids that if they were naughty, they would be whipped and raped by a goat demon? Well, I hope you enjoy your football, and please promise me you'll be a good boy next year or two. We wouldn't want Krampus showing up again, this time taking you away. Love, Santa Claus." Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that short horror story. It's from this book, More Tales to Never Sleep, which is currently on Amazon. This is my author's copy, which is why you can see it says now for resale. So if you want to go read more stories, go on Amazon and check my book out. The link will be down below. Plus, my first book is up there too, Tales to Never Sleep. So I hope you enjoy. Stay safe, and I hope you have a Merry Christmas.